Yeah, it's right up here.
Thanks, Peija. That was beautiful. Welcome to our Pride service. Woo! I am the Reverend Tina DeYoe, and today's Pride service is going to be lots of fun. We have different styles of awesome music. So, we got classical and pop and metal, and it's going to be rockin'. So get some music makers if you so choose, and traditional UU hymns, of course, too. But yeah, so get your music makers, and whether you've been here or not, welcome. Whether you are a member of the LGBTQ+, we got some music already happening. Whether you're a member of the LGBTQ+ community or an ally, welcome. Here we'll share words, reflections, fun, and music together. So today, we celebrate Pride together. We honor our LGBTQ+ ancestors who fought for our rights to love whomever we choose and to be whoever we are. We celebrate Pride because LGBTQ+ pride saves lives. Yes, it does. Yes, it saves lives. And you all are a part of that. So during this service, we'll have an opportunity also for you to receive some glitter, a glitter blessing if you so choose. And however you name and understand the divine, You are welcome in this community of precious, powerful LGBTQ plus siblings and allies. Woo! Yes. Yeah. Music makers. And if you don't want to make music and don't want to clap, you can also do the sign language clapping, right? Yeah. So, feel free. So, welcome to this church, the Unitarian Church of Los Alamos. I'd like to extend a special welcome to visitors or first-time guests we have among us this morning. I invite you to pick up a welcome packet from our greeters in the foyer if you haven't done so already. There's also Pride swag out there. Get your Pride sunglasses on. And please join us for coffee and conversation in the fellowship hall after our service. So we also have a Pride photo booth down in the classroom wing. You can join in that as well after the service. And there are some Pride books you can peruse if you want to check one out. You can check one out from our church. They're in the fellowship hall. So our Reverend John Cullinan will be back next week. It will be his last Sunday with us, which is very tearful and sad, and but we are looking forward to a very joyous celebration with him on his last farewell Sunday. So please join us next Sunday as well. And new parents are encouraged to speak with myself. I am the director of religious education here, and you can speak to me after the service as well. There are many options for our kids and young ones in this service. You can see we have our young worshipers spot right here. We have an intention table with pride, decorating, coloring, all the things. And then our nursery coordinator is Sarah Hamoud, and she will be happy to check you in our nursery down the hall. And we also have a quiet space in our library, too. So we ask that you silence your cell phones this morning as we begin our service. So let us light our chalice, and I know the Dolejsi family will be coming up and lighting our chalice.
After a while, you learn to ignore the names people call you and to just trust who you are.
And let us stand and sing our opening hymn. This is a song written and composed by Holly Neer. She says, I wrote this song when Harvey Milk and George Moscone were assassinated. We originally sang, we are gay and lesbian together, but then we were surrounded by the support of allies. And so I changed it to we are gay and straight together. And now we are learning more and more about gender and sexuality, and it now requires many more syllables than I can fit into this song. So let us sing this song together. please continue to stand for our affirmation. And you can speak this together. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve life in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony. Thus do we covenant with each and with all. You may be seated. So we have numerous candles lit in our Candles of Community, and every Sunday we have a book here, and you can light your candles for your joys, your sorrows, all of your prayers and concerns. So this morning in our book, we would like to lift up Bonnie and Martin Kellogg, as Bonnie was in the ICU and is now in Sombrio recovering for rehab. We would also like to lift up Peggy Chambers, who has been a member here, and she is on hospice care right now in Aspen Ridge. We would like to lift up friends going through divorce. And we would also like to lift up that Theresa Cole is done with chemo. Woo! Yeah. And we have a candle of life to light this morning for Joy Drake, the life of Joy Drake. She passed recently, and so today we will light the candle of life for her. May all our joys, sorrows, concerns that are in the quiet of our hearts be lifted up at this time as well. And this morning, for our meditation time, we have a litany of blessing that is asking for your participation in this. So your response in this litany of blessing for pride will be, we are precious and we are powerful. Let's try that now. We are precious and we are powerful. We come from fierce freedom fighters, from the survivors and the dead of the HIV crisis, who organized and fought for their lives, from the Black kings and queens who ruled the ballroom, who insisted we dance even amidst death and devastation. From these ancestors, we learn. We are precious and powerful. With the tender-hearted butches and the powerful femmes, with the strong twinks and the soft bears, with all the complexities that live within each of us, we know that we are whole just as we are. We are precious and we are powerful. From the Black Dykes, the trans Chicana sisters, the Boricua boys, and every other sibling who is told they can't bring their full self to the queer community, from them we learn. We are precious. We are powerful. To the elders who've seen it all, to those with one toe out of the closet, to those who are still in it, to those who tore down the closet altogether, we say, we are precious and we are powerful. In the face of hatred, in the faces of those who deny our wholeness, we root ourselves in the truth we know. We are precious and we are powerful. From the dance floor to the Capitol Rotunda, from our kitchen tables to the White House, from jail cells to classrooms to pulpits, whether whispered or shouted, we will and do proclaim, we are precious and we are powerful. Woo! Amen. Thank y'all. And now let us sing our meditation hymn, You Can Remain Seated. And this is a song written by Libby Roderick, and it's short and beautiful and tender, and the lyrics are perfect for pride. So we're going to sing this 2 times through. How could anyone? And I would like to ask the young and young at heart to come forward. You can sit on our worshipers' carpet for a time for all ages. Come on up. Hey guys. Oh, is this mic on? No, not quite. Number three. Mike, hello? Mic on? Number 3. Thank you. All right. Hey, guys. How's it going? Happy Pride. Woo! Yay. It's Pride Week this week, isn't it? There's tons of activities. It's going to be awesome. So, what do you think? People sometimes ask, is Pride a protest or a party? What do you think? Both. The answer is, of course, yes, both. Why not? Right? So maybe some of you have heard of Marsha P. Johnson. Maybe some of you, maybe not yet quite. Okay, we have a really awesome book about the Stonewall Inn over in our fellowship hall, so you can learn more about it. But I don't have a picture of her, unfortunately, because, yeah, I forgot. But this is your homework. Look up who Marsha P. Johnson is, okay? That's your homework, so you can see a picture of her. Do what? You don't want homework? Well, let's just look up a picture of a person. You don't have to, though. You're not going to get graded. You'll be fine. Yeah, I promise. School's over, right? Right? Exactly. Ari's like, school's over, y'all. Like, no homework. So, Marsha P. Johnson, she was one of the most prominent figures of the gay rights movement of the 1960s and 1970s in New York City, right? She was always sporting a smile, Johnson, Marsha P., was an important advocate for homeless LGBTQ plus youth and those affected by HIV and AIDS and gay and transgender rights. That's pretty cool, huh? So when she was young, she enjoyed wearing clothes made for women and wore dresses starting at the age of 5. Heck yeah. And even though these clothes reflected her sense of self, she felt pressured to stop due to other children's bullying and experiencing a sexual assault at the hands of a 13-year-old boy. Ugh, not good. So immediately after graduating from Thomas A. Edison High School, Johnson moved to New York City with 1 bag of clothes and $15. Could you imagine moving somewhere with only $15? That's crazy. So once in New York, Johnson returned to dressing in clothing made for women and adopted the full name of Marsha P. Johnson. The P stood for Pay It No Mind, a phrase that became her motto. Johnson described herself as a gay person, a transvestite, and a drag queen, and used she, her pronouns. The term transgender only became commonly used after she died. So according to her nephew, Johnson always maintained a close but fraught relationship with her family back in New Jersey. It was not easy to live on the margins. New York State still persecuted gay people and frequently criminalized their activities and presence. Rights for LGBTQ plus people were limited and sometimes ignored completely. Having difficulty finding employment, Johnson turned to sex work on the street. She was often abused by clients and arrested by the police. She also did not have a permanent home during this time and bounced around, sleeping at friends' homes, hotels, restaurants, and movie theaters. She also found work waiting tables and performing in drag shows. In a 1992 interview, Johnson said, "I was no one, nobody from Nowheresville until I became a drag queen." So not long after moving to New York, the then 17-year-old Johnson met 11-year-old Sylvia Rivera, a Puerto Rican transgender girl, and the two became instant friends. Rivera later said of Johnson, "She was like a mother to me." As Johnson had done for herself, she encouraged Rivera to love herself and her identity. Johnson adored wearing colorful, fun outfits, like many of you have on today, right? Johnson, and that she made from finds at thrift stores and discarded items. She was also often seen wearing a crown of flowers in her hair. So Johnson's life changed when she found herself engaging with the resistance at the Stonewall Inn on June 28th, 1969. So Stonewall Inn was a gay bar and a gay nightclub, right, in New York City. In the early morning hours, police raided the bar and began arresting the patrons, most of whom were gay men. Johnson and Rivera arrived at Stonewall around 2 a.m., where Johnson said in a later interview, the place was already on fire and there was a raid already. The riots had already started. There are many competing stories about what Johnson did during the raid on the Stonewall Inn, but it is clear she was on the front lines. Johnson, like many other transgender women, felt they had nothing to lose. They were not only angered by the police raid, but also the oppression and the fear they experienced every day. In the wake of the raid, Johnson and Rivera led a series of protests. So protests and a party, right? They were partying at their fun party spot, and they were raided, right? So then it turned into a protest. Yep. So the raid on Stonewall galvanized the gay rights movement. The first gay pride parade took place in 1970, and a series of gay rights groups, including the Gay Liberation Front, a more radical organization, and the Gay Activist Alliance, a more moderate and focused spin-off group, emerged. Johnson was involved in the early days of both, but grew frustrated by the exclusion of transgender and LGBTQ+ people of color from the movement. She actively spoke out about the transphobia in the early gay rights movement. In 1970, Johnson and Rivera founded the Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, STAR, an organization dedicated to sheltering young transgender individuals who were shunned by their families. The two also began Star House, a place where transgender youth could stay and feel safe. Awesome, right? So Star House was of personal importance to Johnson and Rivera, as they had both spent much of their youth experiencing homelessness and destitution. The first Star House was in the back of an abandoned truck in Greenwich Village. Star House then moved to a dilapidated building, which they tried to fix up, but the group was evicted after 8 months. Throughout the 1970s, Johnson, Marsha P., pay it no mind, became a more visible and prominent member of the gay rights movement. She began performing with the drag group Hot Peaches. I wish I could have seen that. She attracted the attention of many, including the pop artist Andy Warhol, who included her in a series of prints in 1975 entitled Ladies and Gentlemen. In an interview Johnson did for a 1972 book, she said her ambition was to see gay people liberated and free and to have equal rights that other people have in America. She wanted to see her gay brothers and sisters out of jail and on the streets again. In another interview, she said, as long as gay people don't have their rights all across America, there is no reason for celebration. In 1980, she was invited to ride in the lead car of the Gay Pride Parade in New York City. So, is Pride a party or a protest? Both! Woo! Yes, and thanks to people like Marsha P. and, what's her name? Rivera. What's her first name? Tell me. Anyone? I'm blanking. Sylvia, thank you. Okay. Anyway, so today, let's rejoice as we resist, dance as we demand change, celebrate as we create community that delights in all of who we are. So bring all of that with you today and every day, right? Bring your policy demands, bring your glitter. We're going to get a glitter blessing here in a second. Bring your rainbow socks, your rainbow everything. Bring the emptiness you feel, too, for our siblings gone too soon. And bring your, for older generation and maybe Gen X, Gloria Estefan mix or Lady Gaga mix for, us Gen Z millennials. Bring your tender hope for change. Bring your most garnish eyeshadow. Bring your spirit tattered and battered. By a world that seems insistent on choosing fear and hate, gather up all these things and bring them here to a place where we don't have to shoulder these burdens or celebrate these joys alone. So remember, you are not alone and you are worthy and beautiful, okay? And if you want, you can look up some homework from Marsha P. Johnson. And please go to our intention table and you can color some of our pride stuff. And yeah, thank you for coming up, y'all. Woo.
Probably one of the better representations of LGBT in media, in my opinion. A lot of times I think that people make LGBT media, and it's just really sad and depressing because someone dies or they break up, or it has to be something devastating, whereas Heartstopper is just so dang cute, I swear. Like, every time I watch it, I'm just like, oh my God. And I think it's also good to have that kind of representation where it kind of like juggles the aspects of having someone who's unaccepting while also having someone who's completely accepting and helping each other. And it's just super nice to see, especially coming from someone who had that exact dynamic with my parents. When I came out to my mom, I'm like, hey mom, I'm bi. And she was like, cool, pass the barbecue sauce. And I was like, all right, cool. Whereas my dad was very less accepting. So it's been really nice to see that even represented in one of the main characters, Nick, who has that exact dynamic. So the song is basically from when they're telling each other they love each other from the first time, and it's super cute and adorable, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. You're so pretty. When you smile, it kills me. Oh, I can't stop thinking about the way you kiss me under the stars. You're so lovely. When you cry, it hurts me. Oh, you're the only person left, so hold me. Don't leave me. I'm so scared that the moments we shared won't happen again. I don't want this to end. 'Cause you're so pretty. When you smile, it kills me. You're the only person left, so hold me. Don't leave me.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. So today we have reflections on what pride means to me. And we have a lot of folks from our community here, LGBTQ plus community, ready to share some of those reflections with us today. So I would love to bring up Jamie Cull-Host. Thank you. And you can introduce yourself, use your pronouns by introducing yourself. Yeah. Woo.
Hello, everybody. Is this on? Well, I will speak up, even if it's not on. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I have a pretty loud voice, so.
Wait, here, use this one. 3.
Use this one?
Yeah, use that.
Hello? Is this on? Galen?
Number 3.
No? Trace?
There.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jamie Cull-Host. I've been part of this congregation since I was born, so a while. I use he, him, and they, them pronouns, and I identify as pansexual. So when Tina asked me to talk about what pride means to me, I knew I was going to write poetry because that's what I'm best at, and it's also the way that I express myself the most. So I wanted to write something that encapsulated me and pride, and I am a very environmental person. I am myself most when I'm in nature, and I think that there are so many places that are trying to ban pride flags right now, but the colors in the pride flag are all in nature, so you have to ban nature in order to ban pride. Okay, here's my poem. The world blooms in color with the coming of summer. The sun sets and rises burning red and orange, golden yellow sunlight drifting down from the heavens, blessing the green grass with warmth and light. As the fiery chariot races across the blue sky endlessly, the sky mourns in indigo and violet before fading into stars. In reflection of the earth, I wear my colors with pride. The red-orange of my hair as it curls down from my head, framing the yellow of my daisy earrings, green stains on my feet from running through the grass, contrasting the blue of my worn chacos. I stare at indigo and violet in wonder, hoping one day to understand their mysteries, but knowing that for today, they are not for me. Thank you.
Theresa Cole is going to come up next. Thank you, Jamie. They're related.
It's on. Can you hear me? I'm Theresa Cole. I use she, her pronouns. So why is pride important to me? Pride is important to me because it reminds me that there was a time when LGBTQ plus people could be harassed, fired from a job, dishonorably discharged from the military, arrested, beaten, and even killed for acting a certain way or loving someone of the same sex. Pride is important because even though life has improved and almost become normalized for many LGBTQ plus people, many of those same threats still exist today. I'll remind everyone that the Supreme Court decision on marriage equality isn't even 10 years old. And we all know that the current Supreme Court is willing to disregard almost 50 years of precedent to overturn certain rights. Just this year, 17 states passed restrictions on medical care for transgender people, and other laws have been passed regulating which bathrooms transgender people can use. Laws banning gender transition care for minors have been enacted in 20 states. So why is pride important? Because LGBTQ plus young people are more than 4 times as likely to attempt suicide than their peers. Because more than 20% of hate crimes are motivated by anti-LGBTQ plus status, and their incidence is on the rise. Because every day an LGBTQ plus person is discarded by their family and friends for simply stating who they are or otherwise being outed. Because with every step forward out of the closet, there will always be someone trying to push us back in and slam the door shut. Pride celebrations remind everyone that LGBTQ plus people and their allies exist and are not afraid to show it. I am proud that we have come so far since the Stonewall riots in 1969 sparked the gay rights movement. Many of you probably don't remember the days when you had to know the secret signs or use your sixth sense of gaydar to tell you someone might be gay. There were no dating websites for LGBTQ plus people back then. After growing up closeted for so long, it's still somewhat shocking but gratifying for me to see same-sex couples just holding hands in public. You don't realize how big a deal that is unless maybe you had to be subjected to a special interrogation by FBI investigators about your relationship as part of your security background investigation. When my partner Sherry and I decided to have children 30 years ago, I knew I could no longer be closeted. I wanted our children to grow up knowing that there was nothing wrong with their family. I'm proud that we were one of the first same-sex couples in New Mexico to adopt each other's child and to have both our names on our children's birth certificates. And I'm proud to see more and more children being raised by same-sex couples. I'm proud that I have 2 siblings and a daughter who have been able to legally marry their same-sex partners and that they have been welcomed into our larger family. Sherry and I were never able to legally marry, even in the state of New Mexico before she passed 12 years ago. I'm proud that my daughter can serve openly in the military without having to worry about don't ask, don't tell, And I'm proud that the Department of Defense began providing spousal and family benefits to service members in same-sex marriages in 2013, which was actually before the Supreme Court ruling on marriage equality. I'm proud that my son sometimes teaches me things I didn't know about gender diversity and is constantly correcting my pronoun usage. And I'm proud to have so many supportive allies in this community. A lot has changed for the better since 1969, but with every step forward comes a push in the other direction, as we are currently seeing with transgender rights. Pride might be a 1 week or a 1 month calendar celebration, but it's a year-long process. If you don't know what to do, get involved in or contribute to organizations supporting LGBTQ rights. Keep an eye on pending legislation. Speak up and vote for candidates, if you're old enough, who support LGBTQ and others' rights. Pride is important to me because it means I have the confidence and self-respect to be who I am and do what I can to not let anyone try to put me or the LGBTQ+ community back in a closet. Thank you.
And now we have Mixalh Adams. Come on up. Yeah.
Hey, my name is Mixalh. I am trans. I use she, they pronouns. And I'm gay, you know. So very cool. Pan, more specifically. But yeah, I have a little thing I wrote. I didn't quite finish it, so you know, I'll have to finish it off the top of my dome. But you know, Pride is a celebration of freedom, the elated, frantic sprint of a rabbit let loose from her hutch, the nervous joy of a young flower stretching its petals for the first time, the surreal, cautious content of a man walking out from the prison gates and being encountered once again with the wide open, sprawling space of the outside world. It's joyous, yes, a bringer of great happiness. And yet, a rabbit let free from her hutch is now vulnerable. Outside the safety of her confinement lie many a vicious predator, prowling that great space for a chance to pounce upon an unsuspecting rabbit and feast upon its naive morsels. A flower, to display its dazzling colored petals, must trade its abundance and ease of growth for more stricter, more particular conditions which it requires to thrive. As a just now former prisoner walks out, they must now encounter the world, one which is harsh to them and which they will have to navigate not with ease, but with great difficulty. Such is the case with freedom. It almost always comes with a cost. And yet, for me, there is no other option I'd rather take. My former box hemmed in on my shoulders, pressed upon my back, crammed me into a shape which to me was uncomfortable and unnatural. Thus, I transplanted myself, and in this new box, I fit not perfectly, but well enough, content to carve out my own space into it and make myself room. And yet, carving takes energy, and this is energy that we don't always have. So in times, I may be forced to contort myself in a way as to make myself fit into that box. And this is a dilemma that many trans people face, whether to change ourselves to fit the new box or to stay and just be confident and create that space for yourself. And it's a fine balance. I myself work for the New Mexico Gender Voice Center, where I teach other trans femme people how to speak in a way that sounds more like a cis woman. And honestly, for me, that alone gave me enough confidence, ironically, to sort of create that space for myself. It gave me the energy to do that. But still, our lives are filled with these boxes. When we see a person, we immediately scan. We scan what's their age, what's their gender, what's their race or ethnicity. And all of these are boxes. They're boxes which we are put into, which we change ourselves to fit into, which we make parts of our identity. And so, just as talking about boxes, you know, speaking of boxes, I made a song. It's called In a Box, and it's about just that, sort of having to fit yourself into these boxes. And yeah, sorry, I was thinking for a little bit there, but hopefully, that was good. Yeah.
coming together, changing in every moment as the light changes. This glitter that we share with each other today is a reminder that each of us is beautiful in our sacred imperfection, our ever-changing selves, our glorious plurality. As we play some music, you are invited to come forward. Show us where on your face, neck, arm, cheek, forehead, hand you would like to receive your glitter blessing. And then circle back to your seat. If you cannot come forward today and wish to receive this blessing, you can raise your hand as well, and one of us will come to you. And you can choose not to get glitter if you don't want it. So I invite you to come up as we play some music, and we will offer you a glitter blessing, Jamie Cull-Host and myself. Thank you. Thank you all for participating in our glitter blessing. We're running a little behind. We know if you need to leave, that's okay. We do have a forum coming up, and we'll get this going as quickly as possible. So let us now have a time for our offering, which our offering is going to the Transgender Center, Resource Center in Albuquerque. So please give your money for this awesome organization that supports our transgender members of our community. Thank you. So we have a plethora of announcements today. Let's see, there we go, yes. So we will be doing a worship committee forum after this service in here. It was already supposed to start. I do apologize that we are running behind in this awesome Pride service, but it is awesome, so thank you for bearing with us. And so come give your ideas for worship going forward. We'd love to hear from you. We have a worship retreat next Saturday, June 15th. If you want to come to that, it's in the morning, and you can bring your ideas to that as well. Tonight, we're going to have a vigil for Gaza and the Israeli hostages at 6 p.m. here. So please join us for that here in the sanctuary. And Pride Week is here, and we have all of our Los Alamos Pride events all week. Pride Festival is the Friday this week, and we have signups for our Pride booth in the fellowship hall. So if you'd like to help out with that, please sign up. We also need volunteers for our summer concert booths, and we have a sign up for our first one in June, also in the fellowship hall, and more will appear in your email and here in person. So please sign up to help us at our summer concert booths too. And then next Sunday is Reverend John's last service and farewell luncheon. So please come to that and say your goodbyes and your gratitude. And then we'll have an all ages game night and a UU young adult group meetup. And then Dr. Seuss camp registration for our young ones, elementary school. And if you're older, you can also help as a counselor. So that is out, and thank you for bearing with all of our announcements this morning. So our last song is Answering the Call of Love. And this song is written by Jason Shelton. And it was changed from standing on the side of love to answering the call of love to be more inclusive. So let us rise, embody your spirit, and sing our closing song.
Touch
Thank you. And remember, we have a photo booth down the hall, too, and coffee. So grab your coffee, come back in here if you want to do the forum. So as we go forth, I offer you this final blessing. May you receive and reflect love everywhere you go, and know in your deepest heart and in every day, you matter and you belong. Let's celebrate Pride this week, y'all. And let us hold hands for our closing song, The Way. The way is long.